Hi everyone, I'm here. Yeah, perfect. I could do that. Sharing my screen. Got it. Um, is everyone able to see the screen? Yeah, perfect. Okay, perfect. On our first and our second live session, the first trade idea that we shared was that we broke above 9,500. We retested 94K, and then we had a pull back down to 9,500 again. Our first trade idea that we shared was to go long at 9,500 and take profit at 94K. This was a 1 to 3 trade. So even if you put in, say, like you put in $100, you could have potentially made 300 from this trade. The second trade idea that we had shared was break and closing above 91,500. That also ran beautifully. It provided a 1 to 6 RR before topping out at 98K. So if you had put in 100, you could have potentially made 600 here. Um, those are the trade ideas. And then for Ethereum as well, the first trade idea that we had, this was on our first live session, was to um, go long at 3050, 3065, and targeting 3300. This was also 1 to 3. So again, if you put in $100 here, you could have made 300. And then the second trade idea that we shared for Ethereum was breaking above 3135, and that also targeting 3300 range. That played out as well. So 1 to 3, so 300. So in total, you could have potentially made around 1200 just following the live streams. Um, yeah, so that's it for the trade ideas that was shared. Towards the end of our live session last time, um, we told everyone that you need to be careful with us closing above or below 94K. So let's talk a little bit about what happened throughout this week. This week was a wild week, especially with the Orange Man, with the Donald Trump um, throwing random curveballs at us. So on Sunday, we were above 94K. Everything was moving smoothly. And then during Sunday afternoon, Trump announces additional tariffs on the European Union because he wants Greenland. That caused confusion in the market. And then we actually ended up closing the weekly candle before 94K. And then following the bearish sentiment, we have been pushing down and we're currently retesting 87K. For the following week, so today is Friday, no point of taking any trades today. For the following week, I'll be looking to get back in at 87K. So a retest down to 87K again, or retesting into, we have a closure. So this week closes above 9,500. Next weekly candle comes retest 9,500, and then packing longs again. Yeah, yeah. Trump is extremely, yeah, like Trump, he's extremely predictable. He always announces tariffs over the weekend. Anything that happens is over the weekend. And then when Sunday opens, boom, you have a gap. So it's honestly, it's not worth it to trade weekends at all. Yeah. Depending if it's like a good scalping session, it'll be like few trades a day. If we have like slower session, then few trades per week. Then I'll switch more into day trading. But even me myself, I hate trading over the weekend. I hate holding positions over the weekend because you don't know what the price action is going to be. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. We're back in that sluggish territory again, I would say. If we had a weekly closure above 94K, we would have shifted out of this bearish structure, started printing new higher lows, higher highs. But since we have closure back below 94K, we have erased all of 2026 gains. We have actually turned negative on the monthly, on the yearly candles. So I would say we are back in the cautious territory again, where we could see new lows printed. So going into the next week, into the next month, we need to be really cautious and trade zone by zone or like support by support, right? So you would want to have confirmations. So again, so like something confirmations for me would look like if this weekly candle closes above 9,500, the next weekly it comes retest and we hold here. I would be willing to take a long if this weekly, so say Saturday and Sunday, we close back below 90K, I would be looking to enter at 87K and targeting 94 again. So yeah, to answer your question, there isn't a clear direction. Um, it's very messy, and we will need to take it zone by zone. We could go through them actually. It would have to be the orange man. It would have to be Donald Trump, right? So if say Donald Trump he announces additional tariffs, we're going to dump. If Donald Trump he comes out with optimistic headlines saying I'm willing to work with other nations or saying I'm willing to reduce tariffs on other nations, that would be a bullish factor. Other than that, it's purely data dependent going to the next week. So let's see, for next week, we could pull it up. Next week. Gold is a safe haven, right? Gold is a safe haven, and then crypto is a risk asset. Because gold is a safe haven, it's catching a safe haven bid right now. Anytime there's uncertainty in the markets, the market makers, what they will do is they will pull out of the risk assets. So crypto comes first, then comes the stock market, and then they pool that money into safe havens like gold, silver, the Swiss franc, US dollar. So right now there's a lot of uncertainty in the market, which is pushing the price of gold higher each day. Each day, gold is printing a new all-time high. No, no, like I wish I had bought back in the days, but no, I'm not in gold. I trade just crypto, purely crypto. Um, yeah, I feel like gold is going to continue chugging higher until we have like a risk off, right? So like sentiment changes. Until that happens, gold is going to continue making the all-time highs. Unless like Donald Trump he comes in, yeah. So like Orange Man he comes in and then he gives some bullish statements or it's something that reduces the risk in the markets. Then we'll see a short-term correction before pushing up again. 5,000, yeah. Oh, the crazy part is, I remember like there used to be crypto memes. Is gold going to reach 5,000 first, or Ethereum will? Well, it looks like gold is reaching 5K before Ethereum does. 'With crypto, yeah. AI stocks, again, they're gonna continue ripping up, they continue making new highs, right? There's a demand for them. There's less supply, more demand for them. Until something changes, until there's a shift in structure or a bubble burst, I would say continue longing. Don't look for shorts. It's better to be optimistic in these markets than being a pessimistic, right? So be optimistic until something fundamentally changes, which it looks like so far nothing is going to change fundamentally. Yeah, yeah, exactly. True, exactly. So AI prices are going to go higher, right? True AI is going to use up all the AIs, all the NVIDIA chips. In what sense is Solana better than Ethereum? So let's look up the chart. Oh, not price? Okay. Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, Solana. Yeah, Ethereum, I think Ethereum is here to stay. So is Solana. Every day, new chains are coming out, new layer twos are coming out. They're faster, but then you got to look at who has liquidity, who's the boss in the markets. It's Ethereum, right? Bitcoin comes first, then comes Ethereum, then comes Solana, and then everything else is after that. Like these are the big boys, right? Big three. The one that I'm bidding on is Chainlink. Chainlink, I'm actually buying spot. So I bought a spot yesterday, around $12, and then I have another order placed at 11, then another order placed at 9. Um, I'm bullish on Chainlink because I believe like Chainlink it's linking TradeFi and crypto right together. So I'm bullish on that. Are we talking like extreme risk or medium risk? If we're talking about like extreme risk, Ondo is another good choice. Ondo is linking real world assets with crypto. They have a good earning. Um, so Ondo will be there. And then obviously like Hype Token, they have good earning, they have good revenue. Um, yes. Because okay, Ondo high risk as in like Ondo was trading at what above $1, right? Let's see. Let's Ondo was trading at almost $2. It's currently trading at 35 cents. So how you define high risk is different too, right? So like you're not going to see this on Ethereum or on Solana where Ethereum is trading at 4K and then a couple months later you see Ethereum down to like 800. It's just not going to happen, right? Because the adoption is already there. For Ondo, the adoption needs to come. Until it comes, it's still a mid cap or a low cap that has huge fluctuations. Each weekly candle on Ondo has almost like a 20% fluctuation. A 20% fluctuation to me, I would classify that as a high risk asset. For me, like a low risk asset is Ethereum or Bitcoin, where the movement in a weekly candle is plus or minus 5%. That's a lower risk. But when you're trading low caps that can potentially fall like 80% in a matter of weeks just by Bitcoin dipping 5K and then say like Bitcoin is dipping by 1%, Ondo is dipping by 10%. Um, just in that case, just because of that, I would classify Ondo as a high risk. Pardon me? Yeah, but then you have the risk of liquidating yourself, right? Like if you're talking, okay, so if you were talking about Bitcoin, you could go with a higher leverage. Then a 1% move with a 40x leverage is a 40% move. But you know it's a safe asset. You know it treats your support zones, your resistances zones well. There's an order flow to it. So you would much rather trade Bitcoin than say like Ondo. Okay, Ondo has 10% movement, but Ondo you cannot place a 20x leverage on it then. A 20x leverage on Ondo means Ondo moves 5% and you're liquidated. Your position is gone. It is, yeah. Hmm. Yep. Even if it goes to, I'm hoping it goes to like $9. I'm hoping for like a big dip so I can load up my spot bags. But till that happens, take it level by level. But it doesn't hurt to place limit orders, especially seeing what happened on October 10th. Those, yeah, crazy stuff. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. If you guys want, I could go through. I can go through XRP. XRP, yeah, it is. I got burnt badly on XRP, like around 4 years ago, and then ever since that day, I've never looked at XRP again. I will never buy it or sell it because I remember I bought XRP for 45 cents, and then it stayed at 45 cents for 3 years. Nothing happened to it. Yeah, so no, I didn't. I believe in True though, so hopefully, yeah, yeah, yeah. So overview of Solana, I just had this mapped out, and I have a alert at 144. So like in case over the weekend or in the next 2 weeks, it crosses above 145, my limit order it will activate. So I'm hoping to target around 170 when it does happen. So this is just like a future trade that I set up for myself. Once we break above 145K, we could say that for the past 2 months we have been consolidating. We collected liquidity, we have collected orders, and when we finally break out of this range close above, then we can look to target 170. So I don't have like any position in Solana currently. I'm just waiting for 145. So once we close above here, it shows me we're out of the bearish structure. I'm good to long. Other than that, actually like for the higher time frame trades, I'm waiting for around 100 or 90 to get in like the higher time frame swing trades, right? So like 2 or 3x leverage and letting them run for months. I think 120 is feasible, right? It's not asking a lot. So I would personally like I would want the next weekly candle to come retest 120 and then make the move up. So this has higher chances of playing out than this does. Um, yeah, for like the new week, so the coming week that's coming up, I'm looking for a retest in 220 or break above 145. Between 120 and 145 is just messy price action. Um, right? Like, sure, if you want to take some scalps, it's good. But if you want to take like swing trade with a big position in it, it's not worth it to trade it. But once it like retests lower or it breaks above, your risk to reward becomes much better. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. That makes sense because once we break below 120 and we're breaking below 118, it's showing there's some momentum to go further down. So the stop loss makes complete sense. The entries they also make sense as well. Um, yeah, yeah. Hmm. Almost the same, yeah. Mhm. Yep. Mhm. Yeah. And this week was beautiful. Like, if he knew where to scalp and the zones, this week was actually packed with volume. A lot of money was made this week. But then again, a lot of money was lost as well. We had so many liquidations come in. Um, yeah. This was a mess of a week. Yeah, I got lucky, so yeah. And plus I had the short from 98K, right? So that was basically covering everything and it still is. So I have a hedge, right? So that hedge is still running and it's yeah. Yeah, like if I'm confident in it, I will go in with size and I'll just let it run. Even if it means like hitting stop loss, it's okay. It happens. You lose money. You can be wrong. Like your bias is not going to be 100% right 100% of the time. Um, as long as the risk to reward is there, you should be taking the trade, especially if everything lines up with your system. You should still take the trade and then write it down afterwards. And then you can go in and say, this is where I went wrong. This is what I need to do better next time. Because I believe like a lot of people, all they look for is wins and profits, but you don't learn from your wins, right? You learn from your losses. What went wrong, where you could have done better, and all of that good stuff. Hmm. in one move. Yep, I've seen that happen. You can get emotional. See, this is where AI helps in, right? It comes in, it tells you you're being emotional, you need to step away from the charts. These are not your price points. Do not enter right now. This is where true AI comes in and helps, right? Or else some people, what they will do is they will have one loss, and to cover that one loss, they end up giving everything back to the markets. Mhm. Yeah. Just before we end it, in the middle of the session, we talked about BTC and seeing closures above 9,500. That trade is actually playing out right now. So we closed above 9,500. We retested 91K. We came back and we retested, look, 9,500 on the dot, not $1 lower, and we pushed back up. So if you were paying attention in the stream, you could have taken this trade as well. Right? Yep.